What's up, everybody? You know, I always tell you guys you're in for a treat, and I always say I really mean it. Today, I really think you're going to believe it. Thank you to all of our 3 to 7 listeners out there. Man, we've hit like 120 episodes, and this is going to be one of your favorites. I really do believe it because I had a pre-call with Craig, and his thoughts around brand building and some of the stuff they have going on at Honor are really cool. Craig Kartchner, welcome to Ignite.
You even got the name right for the most part. It sounds like it's a hostile name, Kartchner. It's like this hostile German name, so.
You are anything but, my sweet Craig. Tell us, where do you hail from? What you have going on? Where do you work? What do you love?
Yeah, man, I grew up in Salt Lake. Was at Intermountain Healthcare for like 15 years, and then came to the surface of the sun in Scottsdale, and I've been roasting here ever since. So it's been about 7-8 years now. Been at HonorHealth that entire time, so I came down for this job, and it's been great. I have zero complaints. I love rock climbing, love trails, mountain biking and hiking, and kind of an outdoor guy. I've gotten into gardening. I guess I'm getting old enough that vegetable gardening suddenly sounded attractive to me. Maybe once you cross that 40-year barrier, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm doing that in December, and I started gardening years ago. Also love mountain biking, hiking. Y'all have a lot of snakes there, though, so I don't know. The hiking scares me in Arizona.
I know. There are plenty of snakes. I want to see a Gila monster. I never have. That's like bucket list. One of these days.
It's rattlesnakes, too, where you are, right? Is that it is rattlers.
Yeah. There are tons, but, you leave them alone, they leave you alone sort of thing. It's live and let live. Not working.
We have a ton on our property here in Atlanta, but they are king snakes, and they do leave you alone. They're not poisonous. Yours, I don't mess with. Scottsdale, one of the most beautiful areas in the country. And tell us about Honor. I saw like 3,000 providers, 12,000 colleagues, 3,000 volunteers. It's small.
It grows every day. So you check the website tomorrow. It's going to be even more. We have 6 hospitals. We have a couple hundred clinics, a lot of specialties, about 15,000 employees. We've also got a lot of other cool centers. Maybe we talk about it on this podcast, but we've got integrated medicine centers. We've got behavioral health hospital, which is increasingly important nowadays, and a lot of other ancillary services too. So,
is a behavioral health hospital there to catch? Is it a moment of like high acuity and they come in, or is it an entry point with therapists? How are you guys? How's it positioned?
It's both. We do inpatient and outpatient, and there's a shortage, frankly, of both. But there are just very few inpatient centers like that, where you can go if you're in crisis, your family member, friend, whatever, can go. So it is inpatient, but we also have all outpatient services there too, which again, they're just not enough to serve the needs of the community. So
there's not. Really important. With COVID, the really cool thing with behavioral, and I digress a little bit, is that the stigma got removed quite a bit from behavioral health and therapy and all that fun stuff, but then the demand shot up and supply is not going to catch up for 5 years. Anyways, so you guys have big competitors there in Arizona. How are you differentiating? Like, what do you focus? CMO of a huge thing. What do you focus on to try to gain market share and mind share, all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, that's really tough. And I'm sure you talk to marketers all day long, so I'm sure you hear this all the time, but especially in healthcare, it's weird because we're in this third-party payment system where the people you're marketing to are not even the ones who are paying the bills necessarily. So how do you build cachet? How do you build your brand in that environment? It's really tough. I think it's part of the reason that there is no household name in healthcare, really. There's not one name. Maybe Mayo Clinic, they're big, maybe might be a couple
Amazon
others,
tried, they're trying.
Amazon's tried, Walmart's tried, Berkshire Hathaway, a lot of companies have tried to get into this space, and Amazon is just shelling out millions of billions over the years, and it's one failure after the next. So it's a tough industry. If you look at a billboard, an average typical healthcare billboard or TV spot, and you remove the logo, you're not going to be able to tell who produced the ad. All the ads look very similar. They're indistinguishable. So how do you set yourself apart when that is the environment you play in? Which is certainly the case in Phoenix. We have a lot of competitors, and they're quality. We have a lot of quality competitors, so it is tough to set yourself apart.
Yeah, but you got to try. And I think if I can tell you're kind of a brand guy, and so you have to try. And like, I've gotten so sick of like the same stock images, like you could name them at this point. Like, how do you feel about this? It just feels like, why are the ads so similar? Are we being safe? Is it because we are in healthcare? You got to be so safe and thought, like, what is going on, and how do we start changing this and have more fun?
I know, right? I think you're right. It's a conservative industry. You're talking about death. Healthcare is an unsought service. very few people want to go to the doctor unless it's like for a baby, labor and delivery or maybe plastic surgery or something. You're not looking forward to it. So it's automatically a more conservative environment. It's not sexy necessarily either. And one other huge problem, Alex, is it's birth to death. It's hard to define a target audience, a target market, because we serve people literally birth to death. So how do you focus? Some people in your age category, young guys, obviously, vibrant and whatever, you're going to respond to humor and a little irreverence. You probably would appreciate irreverence.
I love it. I don't think I'm like most of the people. Yes. They love it, though.
You're marketing it to an 84-year-old retiree, and maybe she's not going to be as receptive to the levity.
Yeah.
So, you got to, it's hard. But I'll tell you what I think is one of the keys is fanatical consistency. You have to understand who you are and who your customers want you to be. Find the overlap between what's authentic to you, what your customers actually want, and then you have to be literally fanatically consistent to that. I think one trap we fall into in healthcare especially is we try to be everything to everyone. And we have so many specialists, so many different areas where we provide care, such a broad system that we end up trying to be everything to everyone. And it just doesn't work. You've got to figure out what you do exceptionally well and find out where it aligns with customers' needs and wants, and then just stick to it year over year over year. That's the key to success.
And is that like being the heart place of Arizona, the ortho place, or can you have multiple centers of excellence? Like, how do you do that at Honor? Did you put a stake in the ground? Question. Is it a service line based thing, or it's like an audience? We are great for this type of what are you doing?
I mean, I guess you could do it just for one service line, but I think you'd piss off a lot of your other service line leaders. So I think it's more about, in fact, I could just tell you, if you look at the research, people want, at the highest level, consumers want a couple of things. When they're forming perceptions of healthcare, you just ask them, hey, when you think about healthcare, what's most important to you? What do you want? Quality care. Yep, outcomes. It's the best experts. They want the most knowledgeable people. They want trustworthy. They want to be listened to and compassion.
Wow, that was awesome, man. We just had Craig Kartchner from HonorHealth helping us all the way out from Arizona. That was huge. I loved connecting with him. Done some big things. It's really hard to have marketing effectiveness at scale like HonorHealth. So I'm so delighted to hear how he's done big things at a big group. If you want to find him, hit him up on LinkedIn. This episode was short and sweet, and I hope to get him at our conference coming in October, Scaling Up. So get excited about that, everybody.